What is up, Crusaders of Crypto? Guys, give him a little smile.
Sorry. Whoa. All right. We're ready.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
What is up, Crusaders of Crypt Nation? You already know who it is. Who is it? You tell him, Pete.
I think it's this Bryce guy and some guy named Pizza Mine.
Pretty good guess. Today in crypto, episode 9,
Yes.
August 1st, 2019.
We made it.
We made it past a week.
We survived not just a week, but the crypto winter.
We did. Crypto
Yes.
winter has been over.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we have 4 great stories coming out today. So yesterday we reported on LedgerX having physically settled Bitcoin futures. Today we're going to retract that news story because this has been a cluster F. So we're going to get into that. We have Roger Ver, who's the CEO, ex-CEO of Bitcoin.com. We're going to talk about his leaving.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about Square's earnings. And we're going to talk about BAT.
That's right. So let's jump right into a story we started yesterday with LedgerX being the first physically settled Bitcoin futures market in the U.S. Well, back up. Now, I checked their site last night. It was up and granting early access.
Really?
However, the CFTC reports today that's wrong, and they have not been cleared to launch.
And so here's the reason why. So CFTC regulations Title 17, Part 39.3 stipulate that the agency has up to 180 days to make a decision on DCO applications, which is what Ledger was applying for, and apparently, Ledger had applied in November 8th, 2018. So it's been more than 180 days. So they kind of assumed, they have some email chains going back and forth that said, like, we don't need anything else from your end. They kind of misunderstood, I guess. But the CEO of LedgerX is now claiming he might sue the CFTC because they aren't following the rules that they made. The rules like, hey, 180 days is how long we have to approve this application. It's been well beyond 180 days. So they said, well, we haven't heard a no, so we're just going to go for it, light it up. I have a quote here from their risk officer, Jessica Cho, and she says, we have email correspondence confirming that there were no additional items that needed to be put forward for the amendment. And then, according to an unnamed CFTC official, he says the absence of a decision does not constitute approval, and entity self-certification is not an option. But he continues to say it appears to be in the very final stages of approval. So we'll see.
Yeah.
That's
So,
interesting.
If this wasn't enough of a mess, the PR firm that was working with LedgerX has fired LedgerX and said, we wish you the best in your future, as they put out on their Twitter.
Who fired who, we don't really know. But in other news, we have Roger Ver as no longer the CEO of Bitcoin.com.
Which is a huge thing because he owns Bitcoin.com and is very much synonymous with it. Stefan Rust, the former head of business development, is now the new CEO and may have been CEO for maybe a month now. But this just came out that someone noticed because they didn't make an announcement about it.
This will be a developing story that I'm sure we'll find out more reasons why.
Yeah.
Because there's just speculation at this point. But we thought it's important, so we want to let you guys know what's going on.
So CCN is the original news network that reported this. They showed a bunch of screenshots of their website with their team listings and roles being updated. And this is really important because also in this news report, they're saying that Bitcoin.com is going to become a crypto exchange in the near future.
And Roger Ver has some shady history with Mt. Gox and some other exchange stuff.
Yeah. So his whole thing is he's trying to make Bitcoin Cash appear to be the real Bitcoin, when in fact they're completely different.
Completely different. Bitcoin Cash is not Bitcoin.
Yeah. Even though he owns Bitcoin.com, it is not Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And maybe they're trying to distance themselves a little bit from the narrative that he's been pushing forward all these years.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
But it's no surprise that there's another money grab from this group of very profit-driven individuals.
Yep.
With their exchange.
Yeah. In other news, somebody that is doing a lot of good for Bitcoin that we've talked about in the past is Jack Dorsey and his company called Square. So Square had reported its earnings today, revealing $125 million in Bitcoin sales. through its Cash App, which is doubling what its sales were in the first quarter.
Wow.
And they made, in the first quarter, about $900,000 in gross profit from the sales of Bitcoin. And this quarter, they made double that, $2 million.
Wow.
So that's really bullish for Bitcoin. I mean, there's a lot of buying activity. There's some retail demand. $125 million in sales, Q2, not bad.
And that's just is that their gross sales or just their profit from exchange fees that they're charging?
So 125 million is gross sales. 2 million is the profit that they made for facilitating those exchanges.
All right, that's a pretty fair exchange rate too.
And lastly, something that Pete's mind's super excited about, BAT is now available for tipping on Twitter.
Yes, so if you use the Brave browser, which if you're into crypto, you should.
I use it every day.
Me too. So this allows you to now not just tip on Twitter, but websites and YouTube as well. You can tip the individual content creator if they have signed up. So what you need to do is make a custody account and Uphold, and then you can get tipped out and basically get paid out in any crypto of your choice, in fact.
Oh, really? It's not just BAT?
Yeah, you tip in BAT, and then Uphold will actually convert it to whatever currency you want.
That's pretty cool.
But if you keep holding BAT, you don't pay any exchange fee.
Well, that does it for us today. Episode 9, August 1st, 2019. We'll catch you tomorrow.